Alright, we are on the final map between DowaQ and ToD, and ToD is back again in red. I guess the ESL with their guidelines in terms of colors, forcing the players or telling the players to play yellow against red. Just quickly reminded ToD of his obligation to not go for orange here. So yeah, we're gonna see him in red again. He is this time spawning in the bottom left spawn position, going for the altar and the barracks as we would be expecting. And DowaQ again is going for the same build he did on Twisted Meadows, so not the one he played on Echo Isles. And yeah, he is gonna have the fast DK again. He's gonna start by doing some harassment again, and most likely we're gonna see ToD creeping the null overseers here, and we'll see how much or how well DowaQ is going to be able to punish him for doing that. So altars are about to finish this time. Of course, no fast build by ToD. It is waiting for the farm here. It is AM for him against DK for DowaQ as we were expecting. And yeah, DowaQ again is going for ghouls here. Definitely his trademark playstyle, even later on during the times when most of the undeads didn't rely on ghouls anymore but went for fiends. DowaQ one of the ones that definitely stuck the most with ghouls. So next farm is coming here to close the base. I think it should be closed here. First footman out. I guess Arcane Tower or the Scout Tower is going to be built soon as well. Again, Scout Ghoul by DowaQ here. So again, he is going to be willing to have his tech started extremely late here, just for having the Ghoul around the opponent's main base early on, which, well, isn't really something that is done by anyone anymore these days. Doing a bit of blocking here, trying to delay this creeping by ToD for a bit, and actually this is, yeah, costing ToD quite a bit of time. DowaQ is going to have to fall back with his ghoul. The DK is halfway across the map already, so we'll see if he's going to be in time to perhaps try and do the last hit against this null overseer, and I think he should be. Both of the null assassins have fallen already. The DK is coming in from the top, and yes, he is going to be in time. Is ToD going to allow him to do the last hit though? At 108 XP, exactly, he stopped. And DowaQ, he could have thrown the coil there for exactly 100 damage, but he decided not to do so. And is he gonna get this around? No, barely squeezing out. And he's getting his next bunch of XP here. DowaQ, yeah, next peasant coiled down at 92 XP already. I sadly didn't notice it, but I think he must have gotten the XP here for the water elemental. So that adds up to 42 plus the 50 for the two peasants, which equals the 92 he's got right now. But yeah, ToD has reached level 2. He has picked up the circlet. The Ruby Arcane Tower is being upgraded at the moment, but none of the peasants is really low enough to be in any serious danger as long as ToD micros properly here. DK has gotten another 20 experience points here, so it looks like he was able to steal one of the nulls. And ToD, is he pulling the militia already? He should be doing so. Any second, one has only arrived thus far, and the ghouls are coming towards the natural expansion of ToD as well. So we're gonna see the harassment here once again by DowaQ, who's going to try and kill as many peasants as he can. Keep in mind, this time there's the heal fountain around, which perhaps can be made use of with low HP ghouls to just quickly sit there before they start harassing again. Ghouls are coming in right now. First of the peasants has fallen. Second of the peasants is going to definitely fall as well. And these ghouls are in a pretty good position against the peasants. The first one will have to be coiled here, but he doesn't have any mana left. So yeah, the first ghoul is falling here. Level 3 for DM, very important for him. He's gonna have the mana to spawn his first level 2 water elemental in just a second. Next peasant is falling. 2 are only remaining for the time being, and it looks like he's gonna get the kill on both of them. Level 2 on the DK as well. And this is once again, from an economic standpoint, very costly for ToD. DowaQ, though, only slightly too late in microing his second ghoul out as well. The third one is being microed out. The fourth one is being coiled. Finally, he's getting the coil on one of them. Another peasant is falling. And ToD's expansion is once again going to be delayed by a lot here. DowaQ is doing a very good job with his early harassments here with the ghouls. Doesn't have a single ghoul sitting at the fountain here. Yeah, majority of them pretty low. 2 of them I think have fallen. No, I think 3 of them actually have fallen. Tech is soon to be finished. Graveyard is coming. Third Ziggurat is coming. He's pulling 3 more ghouls right now. First tower is being built by ToD, who's bringing more peasants for the time being. DowaQ is not going to be able to do anything about that, but it looks like once again he's going to be keeping the pressure up here. And ToD, having bought the Boots of... Did he buy the Boots of Speed? I'm not sure which item he found here, to be entirely honest. But either he found the boots here, or he sold whatever he found and picked up the boots at the shop. And more towers coming from ToD here early on. So this time he's not going for the Town Hall too quickly, building 3 towers beforehand. I think okay, the footman perhaps just provided a bit of scouting information. Maybe he was afraid of gargoyles here, and he didn't have the proper information to really confirm that there weren't gargoyles, and therefore he went for the 3 towers first. I'm not quite sure about that. The first tower is probably going to be cancelled here. Yes, repair is coming in too late. DowaQ has to fall back right now though, as all of his units are low HP. The one peasant here should be surviving as well. And finally, the town hall is being put into production. Let's just quickly see. Lich is out here already. He's staying tier 2 for the moment. 1 slaughterhouse added, and he's going into fiends here. So it looks like this time we're not going to see a quick tier 3 follow up by him. Well, he might still add tier 3 somewhat quickly, but he's going to go into fiends. He's going to add the Lich second, so he's going to go into more of a siege kind of game, unlike what we've seen previously from him. ToD, by the way, well, this doesn't... he scouted the tier 2 at least with the footman, but he didn't go deeply enough into the base to really make sure that there was no second crypt. But yeah, by now, as he sees the first fiend, he definitely knows what the approach by his opponent is going to be. But as the Lich and the DK are extremely low already for the time being, DowaQ is going to have to fall back. He's going to have to gather a bit more of an army. Tier 3 is coming right now. And ToD is finally finishing his town hall at his natural expansion. So more skeletons being summoned. Slaughterhouse in the meantime has finished. We'll see if ToD is actually going to dare diving into the base. I think this time it would be quite a unwise choice. Not sure if there is defense research already for the human player. But yeah, with the Lich there, with the Nova, with the bunch of fiends here already, I don't really see ToD being able to do all too much inside the space, especially since, you know, the slaughterhouse is already finished and the acolytes would be defended pretty easily here. In this particular case, so ToD is falling back, trying to not give DowaQ a free fight, excuse me, without the guard towers around. But DowaQ seems to be willing to take that fight even with the guard towers. ToD falling back for a second. Building another footman. We still haven't seen defense here. Shop coming right now as well. Lich continues being attacked by the AM, who's being a bit annoying here. There's 1 Nova, 1 coil, which is being used right now though to keep the Lich at, you know, somewhat close to full HP. And for the moment, DowaQ is just continuing to creep. It looks like he's not going to plan to apply all too much pressure against ToD here before reaching tier 3. And ToD immediately makes use of this. Seems to have a pretty good sense of what's happening at the moment. And he is creeping the fountain, which in the long run could perhaps be a help for DowaQ if he decides to go for a bigger siege here eventually. But for the time being, it's going to be level 4 for ToD. And if DowaQ doesn't come here to creep check, which doesn't look like at the moment, he's going to pick up a perhaps very good item for the AM right now. So Rune Bracers or Robe of the Magi would probably be the best. Lionhound of Stormwind not as great. And yeah, there is the defense for the first time seen here by the human player. First footman gets killed quickly by the nuke and provides level 3 on this DK of the undead player. Lich reaching level 2 as well. I'm guessing tier 3 should be finishing any second right now. So DowaQ is gonna wanna eventually add the orb here, just for some more damage output against these footmen, because at the moment it's not as easy for him to snipe those out, and with -5 armor that would certainly help him a great deal. Let's just quickly take a look into the human's main base here, where while this next footman has been taken down, tier 2 just finishing. Blacksmith is coming right now. I guess the Mountain King will be added in just a second, and we'll see if ToD is going to go for a quick tier 3 here. Yes, he is. So, and using call to arms here, misclick of course can happen to anyone. And yeah, DowaQ adding the orb right now, no third hero for the time being. Adding another Fiend. And is he actually creeping his natural expansion? It looks like he is going to do so, and he's bought the Sacrificial Skull. DK quite curiously placed here. It's going to take a lot of damage unnecessarily. So we're going to see the counter expansion here by DowaQ. Like we've seen on Echo Isle, so he did fare somewhat well with that, but this is Secret Valley, this is a different map. This time allows ToD, of course, a lot of time, which it did on Echo Isle as well, but it also allows him to harass here with tanks, etc., while adding a second expansion, which was not the case on Echo Isles. First workshop is coming right now for the human. Mountain King is out. He is actually, was he just checking? No, he's actually going to go ahead and creep the red camp here. DowaQ, does he have web already? The Fiend is moving forward, and yes, he does have web here, so he's going to be able to kill the red drake as well. Both of them just staying passive for the time being. DowaQ, well, still on one slaughterhouse, one crypt. Adds more Fiends, by the way, no upgrades on those yet. Adds more statues, adds the expansion. ToD continues creeping as well. He's going to get the solo XP on his Mountain King from this Ogre Lord. So he's going to be level 2 soon. Hood of Cunning for him. Quite unfortunate. Whereas here, Gloves of Haste, not picked up. Here he found, DowaQ found Belt of Giant Strength. Here he found the Ring of Protection, Ring of Regeneration, so also not the very best items. Both of the players seem to be happy with going into the late game. DowaQ with some more scouting, just making sure that this one hasn't been cracked already, which he has confirmed right now. MK almost level 3 already. First 2 Griffin areas added as well as the second workshop. So yeah, we might see flying machines Griffins here. We might see something involving tanks. ToD is gonna have to show us. Tier 3 is about to finish. He's already selected the altar, so I guess we'll see a Paladin here soon. Yes, there's the Paladin and one flying machine. So he is at 50 supply at the moment. Is he actually gonna lose the Mountain King here? I can pass something, passing the potion. Wow. Valuing the 1 TP over the big heal potion here. I'm a bit surprised about that. Would have expected him to go for the TP here to save the potion for a late game fight perhaps, but it looks like that's not going to be his plan. Dark Rager 3rd added by DowaQ, so both of the players, wow, DowaQ even broke upkeep already, so that is interesting. Doesn't want to save up here at all. Whereas ToD, as we can see, he's not producing, he's staying at 50, he has 2000 gold already. Whereas DowaQ hasn't saved up anything, so we're gonna see 80 supply soon by ToD, I imagine. He doesn't have a whole lot here to defend in terms of towers, so he's gonna have to add more army. Decides to call down one peasant here, not pursuing the kill on the Mountain King. And yeah, more destroyers are being morphed here, and this is very, very greedy by ToD, I feel like. Not breaking into low upkeep still. Especially with the expansion for DowaQ here, which he hasn't scouted thus far though. So yeah, DowaQ trying to break the space right now. He's at 67, ToD is at 42, is he serious? I mean, if it works out for him, then congratulations. Now he's spending a lot of gold at once, so I guess he's breaking, or he's going to break into low upkeep now as soon as, you know, the first production cycle ends. The DK here doesn't have any more mana remaining though, and the towers really seem to do a lot of work here. ToD has been able to draw a lot of the damage output of DowaQ onto his footmen and onto his heroes. And is there any mana remaining on the destroyers? No, there isn't. So actually ToD has been able to hold this without even breaking into low upkeep. And apparently he was proving you wrong, but I also think DowaQ has, as I said previously, he has wasted a lot of his damage output while the destroyers had mana onto the footman of his opponent, which I think he should have used to just attack this tower to get the full splash damage on this bunch of towers, because had he been able to break this, then I think the expansion would be in some serious trouble right now. But keep in mind, he still has his own expansion behind this, so this is by no means an all-in push by the undead player. So still anyone's game to take here, and he's pulling another Acolyte out here. Is he gonna get a second expansion? It looks like he might. ToD in the meantime is going for the counter attack, and the Necropolis here has not finished yet, so DowaQ is going to be forced to run here in order to defend. In the meantime, ToD is just adding flying machines and griffins. So yeah, we're seeing mass air here. Pretty reminiscent of the strategy he played on Echo Isles. And yeah, he's adding another Haunted Goldmine here, probably just to continue having 2 mines once his main runs out. And ToD immediately pulls the TP here as this way superior undead army is coming in. He was able to take down all the Acolytes at the expansion, but one Necropolis is soon to finish though, and he's going to be able to produce more Acolytes quickly. Actually, he's producing all of them in his main. But yeah, ToD right now at 70 supply, DowaQ at 68, so ToD has spent the majority of his gold right now. See, item-wise, he does have nothing on the Paladin, only the boots and the Hood of Cunning, which is kept, interestingly, on the Mountain King, and the Staff of Sanctuary on the IEM. No new town port, extremely risky here by ToD to perhaps commit without a TP. Keep in mind, DowaQ does have a web already, so the Fiends will have some great focus fire against the Griffin Riders. By the way, 3-3-1 against 4-2-1. First Fiend is in some trouble here. The Shockwave of the Ogre Lord also helps. Silence on both the Mountain King and the Paladin. Lich gets coiled in time here, level 4 on the DK. The next Fiend is in some trouble already, but it looks like the position is even more awkward for DowaQ here, as he is the one TPing out. And look at the numbers here. 53 supply only remaining for DowaQ. We do see plenty of Fiend corpses here on the ground. And I guess nothing left in the air for DowaQ. Yes, nothing left in the air. So ToD apparently rightfully confident in taking a fight here without having the TP. And he has been rewarded for it even more, getting the Warsong Battle Drums. Additional damage output for everything here, adding +6 damage to every one of his Griffins, +2 damage to every one of his flying machines. So certainly a great help. And also the Linehorn of Stormwind, with the army size growing more and more, definitely starts helping out more and more as well. The goldmine here for DowaQ has finished though. His main still 2000 in there, and no, he's actually quickly saturating his second expansion, and he really needs to get a lot of units very quickly here, because if ToD decides to push right now, then things will definitely get dicey for the undead, especially with ToD having 5-3-3 on his heroes right now. Very, very crucial levels on all of them. Invo Potion board on the IEM, no protective items on either of his second or third heroes. But then again, he's got the way superiorly sized army, and with this number of flying machines, even though they seem somewhat useless, they prevent DowaQ basically from getting any more destroyers at the moment. So he cannot just add like 2 destroyers to quickly get rid of these super strong water elementals. If he adds destroyers again, then it's gonna have to be like 4 mana destroyers, or 4 destroyers, you know, like 3 of them with mana at least, to deal with this flying machine army. And he's got 3 statues already, adding some more gargoyles, adding, oh, even double crypt. Okay, so he's going into full-on gargoyle production here. 2-0 upgrades, by the way, on these flying machines already. Where are the griffins? The griffins are here. 1-0 upgrades on those. Of course, Animal War Training finished already as well. And DowaQ with 1-0 upgrades on both his gargoyles and fiends. No upgrades on the one abomination here, which I'm not really sure is going to contribute all too much, because against the focus fire of these griffins, it's gonna fall quite quickly, and it looks like we're gonna have to fight right now. DowaQ is morphing all of his destroyers. It's 3 currently. He's got 4 gargoyles on top of things, but this is a huge army here for ToD, and he decides to TP out immediately here. Doesn't want to risk taking a fight against the mana destroyers. One of the griffins has fallen, but definitely well worth it for ToD spending the TP here, especially given that he killed all of the acolytes on top of things. And he has added a second expansion in the meantime, breaking into high upkeep here immediately. Perhaps expecting a big counterattack by DowaQ, who is not going to be willing to play this with an economic disadvantage for all too long. But I was just about to say his destroyers are all out of mana, but all 3 of them actually still have a decent load of mana to work with. 4th one being added right now, a new acolyte is being sent here towards the top, so I'm assuming we're gonna see a second expansion attempt here by DowaQ. But look at the number of gargoyles here, the number of flying machines. The majority of gargoyles has already fallen, but at the same time the majority of flying machines falling as well, and it's only griffins against destroyers up in the air currently. But look at the number of griffins, still 6 in the air for ToD, which is going to end up providing a huge load of damage output for him. And we can see the DK already struggling against that. He has to fall back. The destroyers here quickly getting rid of the last few remaining flying machines. Well, 1 is remaining. Does he have another call on the DK? No, he doesn't. So this destroyer might be in some trouble. But actually there is only 1 flying machine continuing to chase, and this damage output isn't even enough to take down this low HP destroyer. And the two new gargoyles will quickly be taken down. Both the Lich and Dark Ranger need to stay careful here, and yeah, that's just a problem for DowaQ right now. The damage output of these griffins combined with the bolt and holy light seem to be way superior when it comes to hero focus compared to the damage output of the destroyers together with Coil and Nova. And yeah, with the next bolt, DK will probably be forced to use his coil defensively, but he decides to use it on a destroyer here at first, but the silence makes sure that he doesn't get nuked. Paladin and AM have to fall back. Silence even dispelled here by the destroyers just to quickly get a little bit more mana onto those. He continues applying some more pressure, but damage output isn't all too high. He continues sniping the flying machines though. ToD is committing with those very early on. He needs to make sure not to lose the Dark Ranger, but with the DK only having 44 mana, he isn't able to coil in time, and he decides to call GG's. ToD takes the series 2-1. Quite an interesting series in total, and yeah, this last match, I think it probably pretty much came down to the fight at the bottom of the map in front of the red camp, where ToD just seemed to trade very favorably and eventually forced DowaQ to town portal out. He was up by like 20 supply afterwards. He was able to follow it up with his own expansion, and then he was able to snipe DowaQ's counter expansion, which very simply led to a economic economic advantage for ToD. And DowaQ decided to go for the big push against that. Ended up not being able to break it. Ended up with in a situation where it was destroyers against destroyers and heroes against griffins and heroes. And despite ToD never being able to gather up a sufficient number of flying machines again, it still was enough to basically win the nuke fight by killing this Dark Ranger, which on the one hand certainly can be attributed to the Brilliance Aura of the AM, because ToD just continued using spells, whereas DowaQ in the end was out of mana and often had to deal or struggled with a low mana decay. But certainly also can be somewhat attributed to DowaQ allowing ToD to get those super high level human heroes, which generally speaking will, once they are high level, will have a pretty decent shot against somewhat similarly leveled undead heroes. And that's exactly what we've been seeing here in the end. So that means that ToD is going up to 6 points. DowaQ for the time being stays at 3 points. And we have 2 more matches to go in this Group C on play number 4. And the first of those 2 will be Rob against Lily C, Night Elf versus Orc. I hope you'll check that out. I hope you enjoyed this one. I certainly did. It was one of the better best of 3s we've seen recently. And yeah, I hope you'll check out the next one as well. See you for that one. Bye.